Hi viewers, welcome to Max IELTS tutorial. If you are a first time viewer of our channel, then subscribe our channel without fail. In today's video, we will be discussing how to write a report writing for your academic writing test task 1 when you are given a line graph. First, we shall have a look at the question. The question goes like this. The graph shows the impact of vaccination on the incidence of whooping cough, a childhood illness, between 1940 and 1990 in Britain. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Remember not to jump into the fair draft directly. First, we will work on the rough draft. This is the structure of the rough draft. The introduction is nothing but the paraphrase of the given question. Next, we will have to move on to the overview. In the overview, we must write the striking features given in the data without mentioning any statistical or numeric data. I am going to mention what happened in the initial years, how was the rate fluctuating, and what happened after the vaccination was introduced. Next, we will have to draft the detailed para 1, where we must paraphrase the overview but with the statistical data. The points which I am going to mention here are: after 1940, the infected rate grew from 50,000 to 1,70,000. Again, in 1950, after launch of vaccinations, it dropped back to 20,000. Next, we shall move on to the last paragraph, that is body para 2. Here, I am going to emphasize on the remaining features illustrated by the line graph. I am going to add points like when the number of vaccinations given became lesser, that is from 81% to 30%, the number of infected children rose parallelly. And when vaccination resumed, the number of cases fell. By 1990, 94% of the children were vaccinated. Now, let's start penning down the fair draft. The graph illustrates the transition in the whooping cough cases in Britain children from 1940 to 1990 and how the vaccination influenced the affected number of cases. Evidently, there is an association with the initiation of vaccination to the count of infected. In the initial years, the rate of patients was in the peak and subsequently it had dropped to almost half with a lot of fluctuations just before the introduction of vaccination. When maximum population was vaccinated, there was a decline in the infected. After 1940, there was a surge in the numbers from 50,000 to approximately 1,70,000. Although the figures fell back in the next few years. It peaked again in the early 1950s and varied until the launch of vaccination in the late 1950s, after which cases dropped sharply to below 20,000. There was a sudden fall in vaccination rate from 81% to 30%, resulting in a parallel increase in the infected children. Figures grew up to 60,000 around 1980, but gradually fell back to the previous count as vaccinations were resumed. By 1990, 94% children were vaccinated. Hope you've got a clear idea of how to go about writing a report when you are given with a line graph. If the video was informative, then please like and share our video. For our future videos, do subscribe our channel and click on the bell button to get notification of the same. You can also follow us on our Instagram and Facebook pages. Have a happy learning!